Thank you. The gentleman yields back. I now recognize Mr. Riemer for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman and committee members. This is a critically important topic and one that I've worked on extensively as a Virginia election official and as a lawyer for groups like Restoring Integrity and Trust in Elections, who are dedicated to ensuring robust list maintenance practices. I will share 3 concerns. 1, how the NVRA inhibits list maintenance. 2, failures I've seen at the state level. And finally, the erosion of a consensus on the need for clean voter rolls. The NVRA undermines its stated purpose of protecting election integrity and maintaining accurate and current voter rolls. It imposes too low a floor by setting a lax, reasonable effort standard states must meet to remove ineligible voters and a ceiling on removals that is unduly restrictive. First, the floor. The NVRA merely requires states to use Postal Service National Change of Address, or NCOA data, to identify and cancel non-residents. Using NCOA data is necessary but insufficient because it does not include the millions of some of the millions of Americans who move each year. The NVRA does not require identifying non-residents by using undeliverable election mail, such as registration cards and mail ballots, or for states to exchange voter registration data with one another. The NVRA also sets a restrictive ceiling on list maintenance by limiting cancellation of non-residents to 2 methods: when a voter requests removal or after officials initiate a cumbersome confirmation mailing process and then wait through 2 federal general elections. Relatively few voters request cancellation. Nearly 70% of confirmation notices mailed to non-resident voters go unreturned, which means officials cancel most through the mail confirmation process. We should encourage more direct voter cancellations. For example, courts have blocked states from treating a new registration as a request to cancel a previous out-of-state registration, but Congress could fix that. Congress could also require registration forms to require a voter to list their prior registration address and a clear acknowledgement that the form will serve as a request to cancel the previous registration. The NVRA could also require states to transmit this information to officials in the voter's previous jurisdiction. These reforms could significantly lower duplicate interstate voter registrations, the time it takes to cancel them, and save states money by decreasing the number of confirmation mailings. The NVRA's 90-day list maintenance blackout period before any federal election is also a problem. In presidential years, Virginia and other states hold 3 separate federal elections, so the blackout freezes list maintenance for up to 270 days, especially when it comes to removing non-residents. Courts have also said that states cannot cancel the registration of non-citizens during the blackout period. Elections have changed significantly since the passage of the NVRA, particularly with same-day voter registration and provisional balloting, questioning the need for the blackout period. Congress should consider shortening or removing it, limiting it to general elections only, and exempting non-citizen removals. I'll also share a few thoughts from my time at the Virginia State Board of Elections. First, processes on paper often don't match policy in practice. One memorable example: comparing Virginia's voter registration list with the entire Social Security death file revealed 10,000 deceased registered voters, something that should have been caught by our predecessors had they been following agency procedures. These types of problems are too common. A recent audit in Maryland revealed the state health department's refusal to provide complete death records to state election officials, citing an unexplained agency policy. Neither side accepted blame. This mirrors my experience with agencies like the DMV who are interested in doing little more than the minimum to assist state list maintenance efforts. Bureaucratic siloing and finger-pointing are all too common, and it's easy for officials with competing priorities to run list maintenance procedures on autopilot without realizing they're broken. These are just a few examples. Even though the NVRA requires it, states resist publicly disclosing list maintenance records, making it harder to uncover more problems. But we know they exist because counties across the country have implausibly high voter registration rates. Finally, it should be clear that only eligible voters belong on the voter rolls, but that consensus may be fading. Take a Montana law that Wright helped defend that prohibits registered voters from keeping an out-of-state registration. The law was imperfect, but its goal of preventing duplicate registrations was sound. Yet progressive groups sued, arguing that there are a myriad of reasons for keeping multiple registrations, such as convenience and flexibility. When we can't agree on who should be voting and that only residents should be voting, it really calls into question whether we can find bipartisan consensus on list maintenance.